Cari amici sportivi, welcome yet to another Milan Weekly Pod. Here we talk everything Milan from Serie A. 7th spot, Serie A. Nothing else to talk about. Well, actually, we have plenty to talk about. And week in, week out, we're not professionals.
Nor do we pretend to be.
Stevie P, Vinny T. You wanna start off, or you just wanna? I'm gonna start off by saying one thing because we're gonna get into it, Steve. Right? We have all these questions. We're not gonna even start talking about what we think because we're gonna get into it with Adriano. That Pezziban. I have one thing to say to everybody out there. We might suck right now. Last couple of months.
No, we might. We suck.
We suck. What is this abandoned ship? Everybody, the negativity, this. Guys, I'm sorry, even in the Milan club chat, guys, there's too much negative. It's you guys are sounding like Presidente. I understand we could be critical of the team, but you think the team wants this to hear right now? To be negative, to be this, and we suck, and we do this. Obviously, we're not going to do Champions League like if we don't believe. And Steve, is it over yet?
There's 12 points to play, my friends.
12 points to play, and before we call Adrian, because I was with him yesterday, we're only two guys over there with that Pezzipan. Got him a beer, told him Presidente was paying. Presidente still doesn't know he's paying, but it's okay.
He's paying.
Do you wanna just explain to us how this came to be? How the presidential points came to be? Well, 3 out of 4, because one of them we're gonna skip, right? And Steve, please enlighten us.
As Presidente is the Rai poster boy,
Also,
he's instructed his fellow followers that it is important to watch the game on Rai. Little does he know that before the game, there's La Santa Messa, which we need, and the water coming from wherever it's coming in this fantastic studio is perfectly cued as the holy water that we need to bless this Milan that's scarognate. Everything that could go wrong has gone wrong.
and more.
And more. So as he prepares for church, because Presidente watches it by himself.
The A
Santa Messa.
with the Pope.
Yeah. He has this connection with Francis.
Okay. Oh,
Where
they're on a first name basis.
Yes. Francis refers to the Presidente as Marcello. And Presidente refers to the Pope as Francis. F-bomb. So when he tells F-bomb, c'ho bisogno d'aiuto. C'ho bisogno d'aiuto. Per favore. Francis, aiuta questo Milan. Che siamo scarognati.
Please help our beloved Milan because we have the worst luck of all.
And scarognati is because as he prepares down in the basement, the famous Presidente basement, San Giuseppe,
Madonna.
La Madonna, San De Marcello. For sure there's a San De Marcello somewhere. And he douses himself to shave with holy water. Because Presidente shaves only with holy water to bless that blessed face of his as he calculates his income tax return. So that La Santa Messa, La Madonna, San Giuseppe, San Marcello give him a refund. As those numbers are processing while Francis is preparing the host, where he has a nice Liano, the Pope, he doesn't screw around with house wine for La Sacrestia, where he prepares the body of Christ, which El Presidente refers to it as the body of Marcello. All these presidential points come to him one after the other, ready for Adriano, Pezzo de Pane, yourself, Vincenzo, and me, Stevie P.
That was quite enlightening. Thank you. I didn't know they were on a first name basis.
F-bomb and Presidente. Yeah, together like this.
So let's get straight into it. Right, we're gonna call Adrian is a fellow Milan club member at the Calcio Guys. Does a little podcast, radio show himself. Let's give him a call because there's no point in starting to talk because we're gonna be talking anyways. And I believe too there was an over under for on the Twitter machine, something like that.
Buonasera, Milan Weekly Podcast.
What you see? I think he was prepared. Here we have Adriano, that piece of bread, the pezzo di pane, from the Milan Club Montreal, from at the Calcio Guys, long-time Milanista.
From the West.
From the West, yeah, that, a lot of floodings over there in the West, but he wasn't affected.
Yeah.
And
good to hear.
The only guy that showed up with me yesterday, like a real trooper. And I have to say that yesterday, Adriano, even though he's a very quiet, young man and everything, he got a little riled up. He showed the fist to the TV a couple of times.
Yeah.
Adrian, take the time right now because we're gonna get into it. Take the time, plug yourself, tell us a little bit about you, your love of Milan, and how can we find you on the internet?
Yeah. So obviously.
Rush. Once again.
He hung up on him.
Yeah. I never fail, huh? No, I never fail. Well, it's at least 2-3.
Hello.
Sorry, Adrian. That was I hadn't hung up on somebody in the last 2-3 episodes. So yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. I had to be the one.
Obviously.
Obviously proud Milanista, proud Milan Club Montreal member. Growing up watching soccer, especially with the Italian national team. 06 is a good memory for me. I was about 10, 11 years old at that time. So that tournament and, those players in that tournament really, got me, the Milan players, the Pirlos, the Gattusos, the Inzaghis. Obviously, the legend himself, Maldini, is one to look up to for every Milan fan. One of my first jerseys that I got from one of my uncles, Vittorio, he got me. It was a Milan jersey, and I just started watching the team and just kind of got hooked. And it's it's the small things that get you to like a certain team, and for me that's what it was. It's nothing over the top, nothing crazy, but just to see those players and. They were, so dominant, and I didn't get to see all the glory days, but I got to see, a good part of it, and it just stuff that stays with you forever, and you go on with this journey, and unfortunately, our journey right now hasn't been all that great, but you know what, we always believe, we always want the team to win, so for Milan, my Milan fandom, that's kind of how it started. Where you can find me on the internet, right now I'm doing a radio show. It's called The Calcio Guys with two good friends of mine, Nick DiGiovanni and Gianni Delacoli. We go every Tuesday. It's kind of tied in with the radio station with Concordia University here in Montreal. We talk everything Serie A, everything Calcio. I obviously bring the Milan aspect to it. They have other perspectives. One's a Juve fan, one's a Napoli fan / Roma fan. So it's fun, we get to talk calcio. We all have the same passion, and get different perspectives.
Wait a second.
It's a lot of fun.
I didn't. Wait a second. Did you just say Napoli / Roma fan?
Yeah, to this day, and I know our good friend Jan from the Milan Club Montreal knows my friend Gianni, and this guy is, I don't know how, I don't know where, but he's a Roma Napoli fan. It's a long story, and I don't want to even get into it. But yeah, you can find us on Twitter, Instagram at the Calcio Guys. We post some stuff on YouTube, some videos that we do. At the Calcio Guys, Facebook too, at the Calcio Guys on all platforms.
That reminds me of a friend that I have, a Parma / Fiorentina / Roma fan.
Our friend Vincenzo Gattuso, and before, what I'm gonna ask as we're talking about the Torino match, we're gonna get into the points. Thank you to Colin, thank you to Facebook Frank sending us the messages, and by the way, Facebook Frank, he had a nice little statistics. He said, by the way, tell Presidente whenever he does these special midweek podcasts, we end up losing every single time. So I don't know. I think he's taking jobs over there, but Colin from Milan Club Dublin, the frustration that we get from Frank, but you know, in the end, I was telling Steve here before the run, where do you stand with all this negativity? Like, I don't understand where everybody's entitled to think what they want, right? And you can see it in the Milan Club chat. Everybody, get rid of Gattuso, get rid of these guys, get rid of this dead weight. Like, are you the kind of person, like, do you take it all with a grain of salt, or you just fed up of hearing all this negativity?
Well, I mean, obviously you don't want to, hear this negativity. You kind of have to take it with a grain of salt. Listen, we're all fans. We all love the shirts, and we all want the team to do well. So, obviously, with the frustrations that we've been having, the negative run that we've had now these past couple of games, past month or so, I guess you can say, it's been tough. Obviously, we don't want to see them do poorly. We want to see them do good. But, I mean, I don't know. Going to Gattuso, I mean, he's personally, I think he's done a decent job with what he has available at him. Obviously, the players aren't performing up to par, but that's only so much that I think personally Gattuso can do. We know him as a motivator, and that's what he's known for. That's what he can do coaching wise, better than obviously tactics. And it's tough. So I don't know. I was reading that he might have lost the locker room a bit, which shocks me a bit. So we really had to go see Bologna in these last 4 games, Fiorentina, Frosinone, Spal, what they can do, and we hope for Champions League.
Definitely, and watching the game, there was nothing great, no good takeaways from this game here, other than Bakayoko's crossbar, and then even Steve looking at that the penalty call on Kessie, it's everybody's like, oh my god, that was so soft, but I was more laughing and looking at it, it's like, but the way Milan has been going this game, what do you guys expect? You thought we were gonna get something go our way? Like we were never in the game. It just seemed like, I don't understand where their heads are at. Steve, where did you watch the game? I heard you had a little romantic getaway weekend.
Yeah, so away for my 7th wedding anniversary.
Auguri.
In Montreux. And was able to watch it on DAZN. Thank you very much, DAZN.
Thank you.
For this depressing anniversary gift. But so I was able to watch it as much as I could possibly endure without ruining my anniversary for my fantastic wife. But the negativity, guys. The negativity, look, myself on the show, to be very honest, today, I said, you know what? Senza Milan.
Oh, okay.
Senza Milan. Besides the scarf, just because I was cold.
Okay.
I want to talk as if I would be a neutral.
You want to talk as a neutral?
I want to talk as a neutral.
Neutrals don't smash tables.
I will smash the table.
Okay. So the
negativity, guys. Like Gattuso out. Get rid of dead weight. Get rid of this. First of all, too late to get rid of the dead weight. That should have been taken care of. And you know what? We'll touch on it at the end of the season review. That should have been taken care of at the beginning and at the middle in the mercatos. It's over now. You cannot get rid of that dead weight.
Yeah.
It's there.
Yeah.
It's there till the end. Get rid of Gattuso. Look, we all said it from the beginning. We wanted him to succeed. He has somewhat succeeded. Because to get this team, which last year was nowhere close to 4th place, into 4th place and close to 3rd place, it's kind of a miracle. But we also touched on the fact that in the end, the lack of tactical awareness and the lack of being able to adjust in game and before a game and after a game was going to be the downfall of Gattuso. We said it.
And what's funny is that all the guys, it's the same kind of guys that said, we have the easiest last 10 games of the season. Those are the same guys that are
Those are not guys here.
Trashing Milan, and we suck this. Look, let's get straight into it. Chapter number 1, and I like this analogy from Presidente. I've never heard this one before. Vote of confidence, he says. There is a saying, I don't know, maybe from his village or something. You get more with honey than you do with vinegar. Steve? All right.
I guess.
Gattuso met with the management today at Casa Milan and received a vote of confidence to finish the season. The plan is to work together to get maximum points to end the season and hope for a Champions League spot. So to you, Adrian, I'm going to question, were you expecting Gattuso to submit his resignation or get fired? What we're talking about today or yesterday. What do you make of management's decision to continue with Reno, and what message do you think it sends?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough question, but personally, just seeing the type of manager, the type of man Gattuso is, I personally wouldn't have seen him sending any resignation today. I had heard the news that he was, they're at Casa Milan, and there was obviously talks and speculations of him getting fired and canned. But I personally, from his standpoint, I wouldn't have seen that happen. Was management going to do it? Also don't think so, because I'm pretty sure Leonardo and Maldini are a bit smarter than that. And to say that we're already at the end of the season, like Steve said, the dead weight or Gattuso firing, it's too late. Now it's the last 4 games of the season. What change you're gonna need a miracle if you make a change like that at coach, in my opinion. So I think, again, Leonardo, Maldini, they're smarter than that. I think they made the right call keeping him in there, because I personally think there would be more of a mess if they would have made that big of a change at this point in the season. And you know what? He's really going to have to work his, motivational self with these players to get them through these last 4 games of the season and to make top 4. Because at the end of the day, all fans and the organization, the management, that's the objective.
Steve, were you expecting? I know Colin said, I guess when we were reading, he thought he had resigned. There was rumors going around. Do you think that maybe he had tried to resign and they said no, or?
I cannot say whether he was going to resign or not going to resign. I cannot say whether he lost the dressing room or not lost the dressing room. What boggles my mind is that we keep on repeating the same thing over and over again. It happened with Inzaghi, it happened with Seedorf, now it's happening again with Gattuso. It seems like we have this love affair with these legends that are trying to take over and coach the team, and fairly and unfairly being put in a really awkward position. All 3 of them were really put. We'll add Brocchi in there too.
Mm-hmm.
Not a legend, but another ex-Milan player put in a terrible position.
Yep.
Which I'm sure they think of that before taking the job.
Well, I hope so. I hope so. I understand as a player, and especially for those legends playing at a high caliber, you always think that you can go either step on the field or put on the manager hat and be almost as good, or if not better, than how you were playing on the field. It's in their nature. They're built that way. They're not professionals, and they're not legends of a club for no reason. Is it too late to get rid of Gattuso? We have to just look a little bit above us in the table and look at Roma. Roma went through something similar. They were not successful. Something was going wrong with Di Francesco. And it could be tactical. I'm not a Roma professional. I don't follow Roma to the T to say, it was tactical, he lost the dressing room, Totti was mad at him, he didn't like his tie. I don't know. But they had the balls to make that change. It wasn't an easy change.
No.
That was rocking the boat. And it seems, at the beginning it looked like, Ranieri is the caretaker. But he's got them playing. So he's doing something right. Now, we see on Twitter, in the chat, Gazidis saying, I've seen enough. What does I seen enough mean? If I've seen enough means that next year this guy is not going to be on the bench, well, you should have rewinded 2 months ago and you should have done the same thing that Roma did. Have some balls and get the coach that you want. Because now with 4 games, no one's going to come and coach your team. Not in this form. It's a suicide mission. It's a gamble. I'm not saying it's a suicide mission. I'm not saying no one would come and coach. But you would have to be mentally unstable to go into this mentally unstable team with 4 games left and gamble, because you don't know if they're going to keep you after those 4 games, and say, you know what? I'm going to take a gamble. I'm going to bring these guys to a Champions League. You don't know.
It sounds like what Palermo used to do when Zamparini was there, firing coach, bring him back. Okay, Salvezza, guys, we're not one of those teams, and you can hate Gattuso all you want, but if you don't have a solution, and don't tell me about we're gonna go get the Conte, we're gonna get nobody's coming in their right mind for 4 games. The only thing that will make sense to me is that Leonardo will come onto the pinch, on the pitch, and then do you really want to
On the bench, not the pitch.
on the bench? Do you really
Mind you, we could use him on the
we
bench.
could use him on the pitch too? But
I was gonna say.
in the end, it's just like, do you take that chance to bombard those guys mentally? Okay, now we're just gonna change coach. Okay, we're gonna keep it. Just I think right now it's the right decision because I don't think the alternative would be better. That's my personal.
It's a
opinion.
really tough spot. And like I said at the beginning of the show, everything that could go wrong has gone wrong.
Yeah.
And this is included, guys. This is Milan fans, let's take off the Milan hat and say, you know what? Put yourself in some other fan's shoes. None of the top 4 teams are in this position. None.
Mm-hmm.
Even Inter, for how badly they had their best player, get sidetracked and derailed by his wife, are in a better spot than this Milan. So how could that be Gattuso? How could that be Gattuso? Inter could have mailed it in. Did Inter mail it in? No, because last I checked, Inter is in 3rd place. Roma, they had a goaler who could not stop a beach ball. They could not stop a beach ball. Their coach was not the most tactical person in the world. He wasn't a mastermind. But they had the balls, they got rid of him, and hey, look at them now.
And don't talk to me about try something new, guys. Cutrone started instead of Piontek. During the Coppa Italia, he tried a 3-4-3 at this point. Tried this guy. I'm not saying the right decisions, but he's trying something.
He is trying.
He's trying.
He is trying.
Yes.
Am I happy with the selection? Absolutely not. Am I happy with the substitutions? Absolutely not. That was a close phone breaker the other day. I can tell you, I can count on my hand how many times I got close to snapping my phone in 3.
It just didn't make sense. We were talking about, like, is he gonna bring, go with a 4-3-1-2, put Paquetá behind, go put Çalhanoğlu on the bench, and then you see Paquetá's out, putting on Borini. It's like, there was some things that
no.
There's got a fault.
That was a smasher. That was a smasher. It was a smasher, guys, because you cannot do that. And this is the problem that I have with that. And I'm sorry, Adriano, I'm going a little bit long here. But this is the frustration that I have. Because Gattuso, whether he doesn't deserve the blame or he deserves the blame, has not done himself any favors. He looks like a shell of the person that he was.
He looks broken. Broken man.
Broken. Even to go out and say, I cannot come to this press conference, and I'm paraphrasing now, and tell you that the team looks good. Because I don't even see a reaction in training. What does that mean? Tell me what that means. And hey, what happened today? Milan, Atalanta won too. They keep on winning. And I hear, they were lucky. They scored in the 81st and the 85th. No, that's not lucky. That's wanting to win. Those are guys, that's a team with, I don't even know the numbers off the top of my head, but I can bet that it's a third of Milan's salaries. A third. And I'm even being generous of a third. They are in 4th place. They are in 4th place and they are in the final of Coppa Italia. They are a third of the salary ranges compared to Milan. Cheaper. That's a project, guys. That's a project. And if you want to change Milan, and I've been saying it, you can bring in Sari, you can bring in Gesù Bambin, La Madonna, you can bring in everybody. If you don't have a project, you will fail. And Milan has been failing for the last 7 years because we don't have a project. We don't have a project. We don't have an identity. We don't have a system. We have zero. La Primavera is in shambles. This has to start. Gazidis wants to build something. He wants to build some sort of profitable company for Elliott. You better get your shit together. Leonardo, Maldini, I'm including you there as well. Because you can't go away from this either. You put in all your chips. You brought in Paquetá and you brought in Piontek, which I commend. You put in all your chips. But someone needs to go and control the dressing room. If Gattuso lost it, you grab people by the hair and you say, it's not time to lose it, it's time to win. Because it's not normal that the fans on Twitter, on these podcasts, listening to the podcast, love the shirt more than the 11 guys that are on the field.
Yeah. 100% agree. And we see this like across the pond here in North America, and it's like so evident to us that you would think that over there in Italy that they would be able to see this and really drive it through to these players, and it's just not happening, which honestly baffles my mind.
Yeah. And remember last week we were saying I wish Leonardo and Maldini would say something.
Yeah.
A vote of confidence for a guy who's destroyed is not what I wanted to hear. Because in the end, the chat is right too. And you gotta take it for what it is. You're telling this guy he's hearing that he might lose his job. Is it yesterday that he might lose his job? Or it was 2 months ago that you told him he's gonna lose his job? If you told him 2 months ago,
I don't think so. That would have been a mistake. You
Yeah.
can't tell somebody I'm
Come
gonna
on.
let you go and
Yeah.
tell
come
these
on,
guys. Come
we
on.
have a little,
Yeah.
and this is his job. Picture yourself as a working man. Yourself, Adriano, you work, I work.
Yes.
Imagine your boss comes and tell you, Vinny, in 2 months from now, you're not gonna be here. How much are you gonna fuck the dog?
Yeah, no, it's just
As much as you love wherever you work, Adriano, wherever you work, and wherever I work,
Yeah.
you tell me that I'm gone in 2 months, I am checked out. I'm gonna stay
Of
there
course.
and I'm gonna collect my money, but I am checked out. Milan legend, water boy, guy who puts the corner kick flags, guy who draws the line at San Siro. I am checked out.
Yeah.
Point number 2. Chapter. Yeah, this is gonna be a long one. Throughout this, calls it rock bottom, President. Throughout this roller coaster season,
Rock bottom. This guy's giving me WWE referrals now.
a season, Gattuso has often said certain episodes should serve as motivation instead of una reazione. The players need to react, yet the flat play continues. Some examples: Derby loss, Gigio's blunder versus Sampdoria, tie with Udinese, racist chance towards Bakayoko. The players do not react to any of this like a normal team would to use it as a motivation to fight and want to win in the next game. Now Milan is in 7th place, and Gattuso has repeated again, we need a reaction. And even said he didn't see a reaction during training. I mean, the only reaction that I've seen lately is when Musacchio took away the jersey when they were holding it up. That's the only reaction, and that wasn't
Make Adriano go first on this one because I'm going to be another 25 minutes.
Yeah. What is Adriano, what is now Milan is in 7th place, they needs a reaction. So what is your perception of the players? Do you think they feel like they hit rock bottom and will fight hard the next games? Or have you lost confidence and think they will tank even further? I gotta go first.
Well, obviously, you as a fan, you hope that these players can have some sort of motivation in them, not even from an outside perspective, just within inside them, to fight and to get this Champions League spot. If Gattuso, seen a reaction, it's all those examples that you named. The Gigio blunder, that stuff happens. It's a fluke, I understand. The tie with Udinese, I think, burns me the most, and with the Derby loss, because those are two things that I find totally, flip the script for us. But I don't understand. Gattuso is marked as a motivator. You guys said it on your podcast. Everybody sees it. That's what he's known for, as a manager, as a coach. And if you're going to tell me that he lost the locker room, I find that so hard to believe, because that's the only thing that he knows to do. That's his best trait as a manager, and we all see that in him. So if he lost the locker room and there's no reaction, in my eyes that's extremely sad, and especially for a club like Milan that does not they have so much DNA in Champions League. Has been one of the better teams across Europe. To see that as no motivation in training, there's a real problem. I hope that does get fixed, sooner rather than later. But these guys, I remember I was listening last week. Your guest you had last week, I think Tim, he said, or whenever it was, if you guys cannot get up for these next, 4, 5, 6, 7 games, whatever it was that number was, there's a real problem there. So for me, Gattuso's going to have to wake up. He's going to have to shake something up. If he's going to have to stab them with a fork, I don't care. But for me, there has to be some sort of motivation. I don't think they hit rock bottom completely, but they're pretty darn close.
If that's not rock bottom, and even today Gattuso saying, in my day, the rispetto le regole, I think that was another job, but maybe, him, I don't know what's going on. Steve, have we hit rock bottom?
Oh, this is, it is rock bottom. There's only up now, right? And we say it every week. I don't even want to say it anymore, because every time we say it, we go lower. So is it rock bottom? Yeah, I'll say yes because those examples are good. Except for the Lazio and the racist chants there, that's just an excuse. That has nothing to do with the play. They're professional players. Leave what's outside the pitch outside the pitch. That's what I say. Yes, it's something that I do not condone. Is it stupid? Yes. Did we have a fight in the chat, like in the Coppa Italia, that I want to see some grinta for that for those racist chats? Yeah, I wanted to see that. I wouldn't have minded, a hard tackle here, a hard tackle there, just to send a message. There was nothing there. Shocking. The rest.
Yeah.
The Inter derby loss. Yeah. But
Oh
look,
my
guys,
God.
is it the first time we lose a derby?
No.
Is it going to be the last
No.
time we lose a derby?
No.
No. Let's face it, guys. We're Milan fans. Do I want them to win every derby? Yes. But is it the end of the world? No. You went. You didn't show up. It should have been motivation to show up. People are telling me, I've seen on Twitter, the Kessie Biglia fight was the end of Gattuso. Do you know how many of those fights we don't see? So one that we see with the class and the personality and the professionalism of Leonardo, Maldini, and Gattuso, we can't control a small incident like that. These are excuses, guys. We're finding excuses for a team that unfortunately we needed to manage our expectations at the beginning of the year and understand that, hey, Champions League is the goal. We might make it, we might not. The problem is that we were dangled with this Champions League. We were so close to third. We were in fourth. We're just not getting the results. These are things that happen. It happens all the time. Chelsea doesn't get the results all the time. Man U don't get the results all the time. Real Madrid doesn't get all the results all the time. And speaking of Real Madrid, Zidane went on a shit fit. He went ape shit on that team. They had a loss and he went crazy. You're telling me calm and collective Zidane is able to lose his shit and Gattuso can't? I don't want to wound the dog. I want someone to lose his shit right now. Instead of saying I don't see a reaction in training, say I'm going to kill them. Say I'm going to stab them. Say I'm going to electrify them once they pass. If they touch their phone, I will zap them. Say something. It's a joke, but I honestly think, and I swear to God, speaking with someone at work who's a fantastic gentleman, except for the fact that he likes Inter, I told him, and he's Greek, I told him, I would rather see the Greek Gattuso than what I'm seeing right now.
Absolutely.
Something absolutely out of this world that would take the attention away from the team and bring it on him.
A la Mourinho.
A la Mourinho.
Or
Just go crazy. Flip the table at the conference. Smash something. Get on TV for no reason. Get a red card. Get whatever you have to get a reaction from these guys. And if it's not working for you, go upstairs to Leonardo and to Maldini and say, come and get me a reaction. Come and get me a reaction. And if the problem is that Leonardo and Maldini with Gattuso can't get a reaction from these 11 to 23 players that we have on the squad, maybe the 11 and 23 players shouldn't be on this team. There's a fantastic question coming up on Ask Vinny and Steve, and that says, who would you keep if you could keep three? I have trouble picking which three I would keep. That's a major problem.
We're gonna get into that. And speaking of the Champions League, so President, point number 3 we skip because we're already at over half an hour here. Presidente Scaroni said, I saw the game yesterday. Milan have not played well for a couple of months now. The Champions League goal has left us for now, but we are not giving up. We have a long-term view, and we didn't project Milan to be in the Champions League this year in our budget forecast. However, having been close to it would have been a pleasant surprise and accelerated our plans. Getting a taste of it, seeing it slip away leaves a bitter taste in our mouth. So, do you believe President Scaroni that getting into Champions League was not in the plans for the season, or is he saying this to silence the folks who say Milan not getting into Champions League would be a financial disaster?
Well, right off the bat, I'm going to say absolutely not. I don't know why he would say something like that. I mean, listen, we all know that going to this season, it's been 7, now 8 years, we haven't been in Champions League. You don't think that, Champions League is an objective for this team? I absolutely think it, especially now that Leonardo Maldini are on this project or so-called project. with this club. I mean, it has to be an objective, and it is an objective going forward with these last 4 games. That's how I see it. But I mean, at the same time, is it something to?
Oh, again.
And Vinny hangs up on Adriano
Jesus, I have to stop using that button.
I'm 2 for 2 tonight.
2 for 2, buddy. 2 for 2. 6:49 on Wednesday. Sorry, go ahead.
There you go. No problem. Yeah. So I mean, is it something to silence the folks that saying Milan's not going to get in the Champions League? Financial disaster? Maybe, but I don't think the fans are stupid. I think we all see that the objective is Champions League. We've been suffering as we've mentioned many times that these 7-8 years have been a struggle and not fun as a fan, but I think absolutely Champions League was an objective from the get-go, but at the same time, I think he is saying it in a way to try to silence it. I just don't feel anybody's buying it.
I'm a bit with Adrian on that one, but I think Scaroni is a smart, intelligent businessman. I think these words were, trying to put it like, a bit on one side, a bit on the other one. Now, if I ask you, Steve, what do you think he's saying the truth or not? If I take you back to the Steve before 2-3 weeks before kickoff, was Champions League a real objective?
Of course, it has to be.
After Higuain got signed.
Yeah.
But before Higuain got signed, guys, don't tell me Champions League was maybe Europa.
Guys, there's a lot of soccer to play. Do you think
there's 6 points? There's 6 points between 8 and 2.
Yeah, but let me ask you this:
Okay.
Do you think at the beginning of the year, Atalanta penciled them in as a Champions League spot?
No.
No.
Do you think
no.
Torino penciled themselves in to beat Milan at this stage, this late in the campionato, and be close to fourth spot?
No.
You cannot. You cannot. You can have objectives that are clear to what you want to do. Now, you as a president, like you said, smart businessman. Yeah, he wants to weather the storm. That's not what these fans want to hear. And I'll tell you why these fans don't want it. Because these fans are not stupid. These guys breathe soccer 24/7, 365. And they're not going to take that. Because, yeah, you know what? It was nice to see us. No, we're Milan. We're used to winning. We have that deep desire in ourselves to win. It's sad to say, but, and I'll give you an example. A team like Napoli. A team like Napoli, to me, if I'm a Napoli fan, you know what? This year is a failure. In my eyes, if I put myself as a real Napoli fan.
Obviously.
Last year, finishing second with the most points, you know what? You could say, let's say last year they got the most points that they've ever gotten and still didn't win the Scudetto, still didn't win a trophy. There's a positive there. You want to advance. Now this year, you don't have as many points. You were hoping for something else. A Coppa Italia, maybe the Scudetto, maybe Europa League, Champions League. But again, you have these many areas to succeed in and you fail, there's a problem. Milan didn't have these avenues. We had possibly getting into Champions League. Let's face it. There's no one at Milan in their right mind penciled them in. We're going to challenge for the Scudetto.
No.
If they did, then we have bigger problems than this podcast of what we're talking about, and we should just stop right now if that was the case.
Okay, so tops. European football was our objective.
Champions League was your objective. Champions League is the objective. If you need to get to that next level, and where they say they want to bring Milan, you need Champions League football. This is how you will attract talent. This is how you will attract players. This is how you will attract coaches to possibly take over this caretaker coach that's now Gattuso. Without Champions League, unfortunately, you will not get that. That's where the decision has to be made. This is a decision that had to be made many, many years ago when we were making that transition from I Senitori to what we have now. Can you go all in for Champions League? Yes or no? If your answer was yes, it's time to spend money. If your answer was no, it's time to rebuild. This happens in North American sports all the time. Hockey is a fantastic thing. Columbus Blue Jackets, this year, they went all in. They had 2 free agents that were not going to sign. They said, you know what? We're putting in the money. We're going for it now. What happens later? We'll think about it later. Milan used to do that.
Yeah.
And then at a certain point, these North American teams, they hit a ceiling. That ceiling is, it's time for these players to go. That's where Milan was with Isanitore. It's time for these players to go.
But
there's no draft here.
But
there's
in
no
8
draft.
years, 8 years, you haven't had a plan, Steve.
You
8
haven't
years,
had a plan.
No
Well,
plan.
that's
of
the problem.
rebuilding.
So you're not going all in, or you think you're going all in, but you're making maybe possibly wrong buys.
Indeed.
And you're still not at Champions League football, and you still don't have youth. We might as well have gone the Chelsea way. Just buy every single player and send them out on loan. You're going to get 11 that are going to come back good, Vinny.
That's true.
It's not a stupid thing.
Hopefully.
They're getting in trouble, but it's not a stupid thing.
Before we let you go, Adrian, as I'm looking at the message on the chat right now, nobody. Now, this is Adriano, part Milanista, part calcio aficionado. Do we do Champions League, yes or no?
You know what? It's scary to me, but I'm still sticking on the Io Ci Credo train, and I say yes. But
Yes.
it's going to be extremely tough. As we mentioned on Sunday, when we were speaking on Sunday at Chicharro, these last 4 games, they're all must-wins. And on paper, as I told you, they should be all wins. Knowing this team, it's not going to be as easy as that. But I'm sticking with the belief, and I'm gonna say yes. But it definitely won't be easy.
100%. And just let us know once again where we can find you on the Twitter machine. And yeah, that's about it. But thank you for showing up yesterday. Thanks for coming on, and thanks for getting Steve to be so passionate about his answers. But just give us. Just plug away there before we let you go, s'il vous plaît, signore Pezzo di Pane.
Yes. So once again, I want to say thank you guys for letting me, come on. It's a real honor. I know I haven't been as illustrious as your other guests, but I really do appreciate the opportunity.
Thank Presidente for
you guys
inviting
do a great job. So it's an honor to come on this podcast, this great podcast. But for me, you can find the work I guess I do. You can say on the Twitter machine, Instagram machine at the Calcio Guys. We run me and my buddies, we do a radio show, anything Serie A related, anything Italian soccer related. As I said, I come with the Milan aspect of it. I get passionate, just like Steve, on my show. So if anybody wants to listen to that, at the Calcio Guys, you can find us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. And for myself personally on Twitter, Adriano_Calcio, and I pretty much tweet anything Milan related or anything obviously that my page, the Calcio Guys, do, and just trying to get our word a bit out there. So thanks again for having me, and buonasera.
Buonasera, thank you very much, and we'll catch each other soon at the next game. Thank you very much again. Have a good night, bud.
Yeah, you too, guys. Ciao. Thank you.
Ciao.
Next game is on a Monday.
On a Monday, yeah, that's gonna be. We're taking the afternoon off on that one. That's for sure. Io ci credo, guys. Whether it was here hockey when the Montreal Canadiens, Columbus, everybody was battling for every game, this and that. And any of those fans, man, we suck. We're not gonna make it. Guys, you have to have a bit of faith. 12 points is not. Yeah, we're gonna say okay the last 2 months. Okay, guys, but you have to believe. If we're just gonna go in with a losing mentality right away, is that what the team needs right now?
No.
They don't merit our support the way they've been playing. The colors merit our support.
Yeah.
No matter what happens, right?
Agreed.
And if for all those guys that what a team, the worst team ever, this and that, I haven't seen a worse team. You have to bring back Emmanuelson, Kevin Constant, Jamel Mesbah. Guys, seriously, please stop this before saying stuff like this. So, Jan and the Milan Club chat, please, ci credo. You have to believe at all times. Ask Vinny and Steve, the hashtag. Frank the Tank is over there. Frank the Tank. In regards to new manager for next season, let's look at realistic targets. So I won't include Conte as we cannot afford him. Who would you like to? Who would you like and why? Sarri, Gasperini, Di Francesco, Giampaolo, Wagner, or any others?
Hold on.
Frank from Sydney. Ciao, Cheech.
Frank, Cheech. First of all, no one said we can't afford Conte. Because the coach doesn't count for financial fair play.
Yeah.
So you can really pay. Do you really want to pay him? That's a different story. Can we afford him? If they want to afford him, they can afford anybody. Will he come if there's no Champions League? Probably not.
If they want him, guys, they're gonna make.
They're
him
gonna
work,
they're gonna
trust
make him
me.
come. And Conte is a motivator as well. Will he destroy? Will he not destroy the locker room? But I'm pretty sure he's won before. Gattuso is a younger coach, has not won before. I could see where it's going to be a different personality, but that's a tough personality. Is it something that we need right now? Maybe yes.
Maybe yes,
Maybe
but
no.
maybe no. That's the whole thing,
We
right?
don't know, guys. We sit here and we cheer for this team. Now, I'm just telling it how it is. This is what it is. I understand that you can get negative. I understand that you're looking for a coach. But Gasperini experiment, tried at Inter, failed. Giampaolo, coaching at, I think Empoli and now Sampdoria. I don't know if not that transition doesn't work all the time. Di Francesco from Sassuolo to Roma worked for a bit, didn't work. It's a very tough job to select a coach. There's a lot of things that go into it. Right now, Leonardo and Maldini inherited Gattuso.
Yeah.
So they rode this wave of Gattuso. North American sports, that usually doesn't happen. New GM comes in, he's gonna want his people.
Yeah. Cuctrone. This is what I'm talking about. Would you guys be happy if Milan got relegated? I give up. Hashtag seriously. What kind of question is that? We gotta. Thank you for the question, but no.
Those are types of questions, and like I put in the chat,
Yeah.
guys, we've suffered a long time. Trust me, Vinny and I have been doing this for a long time, video and radio. It's kind of funny that once we started this, we started to suck.
Mm.
Not us as a podcast, Milan.
Really? No, we were third, but we went up from third
Yeah,
place.
but we're not winning.
We're back. We started.
We're
recording
not
back
winning the
in,
championship.
Yeah.
If we win a championship and we're still recording this for this podcast, trust me, you will hear me. If we win a Scudetto, I'm telling you, you guys are gonna have to block me from the airwaves. I will be on every single goddamn podcast out there.
You know,
Every single team.
speaking
guys,
speaking of Mr. Positive,
Oh my god. Oh my god.
are you guys ready? People like him, so I don't know. We're just gonna see what. Obviously, guys, it's Tommy time.
Guaranteed. He's gonna want to bring in Sani. Guaranteed.
Or Capello.
Saki's the best. Or Capello. Reincarnation of Van Basten.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, Mr. Tommy. How are you?
I'm good tonight, but I'm very disappointed. Very disappointed. Disgusted from what happened.
But
How could we go from 4th place to 7th place?
because there's only
Just
6
a
points of
switch a
difference.
knob. Jesus.
But Tommy, me a real question, right? In these times, these hard, harsh times, why are you just? Have you abandoned ship? Is this it for you? We're not doing anything. We're not winning shit. We're not winning Europa League. We're not.
Yes, because in the past 2 months, I've seen a Milan going on the field just to pass time. Jesus. The players don't even have. You know, when you're battling for 4th place in a Champions League spot, you're supposed to come out there with fire. You're supposed to come out there that you want to win these games. These guys come out on the field seeming like it's a picnic for them. They don't care if they lose. They don't care if they tie. They don't care if they win. It's like they don't care anymore.
But
And that is solely the fault of the coach that does not stimulate those players mentality-wise to come out there and give it their best because, quite frankly, it seems like they're playing at 20%.
So you're saying Gattuso's the problem. So what? You would get rid of him and do what for the last 4 games?
No, well, now it's a bit too late. I understand the fact that they don't want to sack. Gattuso should have been sacked after they got eliminated from the Europa League against Olympiacos.
But
He should have already been gone.
But Tommy, if a guy like
They decided
Gattuso,
to keep him on.
if a guy like Gattuso cannot motivate a 23 guys wearing the red and black, is it the problem of the coach or is it maybe that the
Yeah,
players?
of course, he keeps 2 cadavers. Always on the sala, la stessa cazzo di formazione. Ogni cazzo di sabato dove lo stesso c'è another cadaver and another fuso, another cadaver. Change things around. You have players on the bench that you never played. Who knows? Change things around, move things around. And on top of it all, you kept your Piatek on the bench on a game that you solely have to win. You need somebody who could put the ball in the net. You don't have anybody but him. And you keep him on the bench. Ma allora sei completamente uscito di testa tu.
But Cutrone was not a bad option. And so what do you say? What do you say to everybody that trashed him?
But why don't you play with 2 strikers? You know that you look. It doesn't take a genius. 2 months. It's been 2 months that you have trouble scoring. You know that you're not going front. Non si capisce più niente. Revamp your team. Your 4-3-3 doesn't work. Change it.
So we tried 3-4-3 during the Copa. That still didn't work. We tried.
Exactly. Play a 4-4-2, a 3-5-2. It's up to you to figure out what's good for the team. How could you win these games?
Do you think he's?
Playing like that, let me tell you something. If we continue with this guy, we won't even make a Europa League next year. Mark my words. As of today, we're not making Europa League. We're in 7th place.
So Tommy, you have abandoned ship. For you, it's over. We're not doing
For me,
Europa.
it's over. For me, it's definitively over.
I'm very disappointed to hear that in you, Tommy, because I thought you were gonna be like, you
Look,
know.
I was the only guy that said yes. But look, you have to
You were
keep
not
your
the
foot
only
on the
one
ground.
saying yes,
Juventus, okay. So they're saying that Atalanta and Rome are playing Juventus, but Juventus, quite frankly, if they win or lose now, they won or lose. They don't give a damn. So they could even give them a free pass. They don't care. So it's not Juventus the problem. Juventus they could put their second team they're playing, and that's it. And then the other teams will pass.
All right, so
I have said it. I've said it even 2 weeks ago. Milan should go out there and win all the games. What have they done? The complete opposite.
So now we're going with the negatives.
If you
and
ask
then we
me,
get the
do they
positives.
deserve even to be in Champions League? No, they don't.
So Tommy, you've heard it here first. He's abandoned ship. Unfortunately, he's always gonna love the Milan. But before we part,
I love the team, but I cannot support the fact that when you have to make the changes at the right time, you don't do it. That's solely out of the management. I don't know who kept this guy on the ship when he was supposed to be sacked. I don't know if it was Leonardo. I don't think it was Leonardo, maybe Maldini or Scaroni, but this guy should have been sacked. Should have been sacked a long time ago. And maybe today, if they were going to sack him back in December or November, maybe today we would have been in a different spot. Maybe even fighting for 2nd or even 3rd place. But unfortunately,
or relegation.
we could have been, we could have been in 10th spot. It could go either way, right? So
it could go either way, but I don't think so because I don't think at this point nobody could have done better or worse than Gattuso. Gattuso has won games out of luck, and he has lost games that he should have won. He lost points against Bologna. Who hadn't beaten Bologna this last year?
We did not lose against Bologna.
Everybody beat them. We went there. We almost lost that game.
yeah, well, So
come on, there's certain things that you cannot, look, let's not kid ourselves. You need a good coach. That's what you need, a motivator.
we'll see.
Now, Conte, everybody knows that Conte's probably going to go to Inter or to La Roma.
We'll see.
So,
We'll
who do you
see.
have left?
But I'm with Steve here.
Pochettino just said it today. He said it in an interview on Sky in England. He's not going to Milan.
Yeah.
He said it.
So
He's not going.
we'll see. We'll speak after next Monday's game. Before we let you go, Tommy, because we're running a little short. Any parting words for your thousands of listeners?
The only thing I could say is one thing. Guys, la stagione è finita. Next year. And hopefully with a better coach and with better results. That's what I want to see. I want to see a better coach and a better results. And look, and quite frankly, saranno cercate with that team, so I'm sorry.
So
That's the only thing I could say.
that's your opinion. We gotta respect it. Have yourself a fantastic evening.
Well, guys, the pleasure was all mine once again. I have to say that.
And
We'll
we'll talk.
sure before the end of the season we'll see each other.
Yeah, and we'll talk. We'll talk next Monday. Live podcast after the game should be interesting.
Exactly, and let's hope. Look, I still have a little bit of hope. So
Oh,
we have to start winning.
there we go. A little hope, guys. A little glimmer of hope from Tommy. Have yourself a good night. We'll talk soon.
You too.
Ciao.
You too, guys. Bye.
Ciao, ciao. Oh, we got the little glimmer of hope there. You just go
But
from-
do we realize as a fan base what we're saying? Because I don't think so sometimes.
No, I think
Because
sometimes,
it's-
guys. I
it's-
love you all,
yeah,
but sometimes
it's 7+ years that we've been like this.
yeah,
It cannot
it's been
be-
4 or 5
exactly.
different coaches, guys.
Yeah.
It's not the coach the problem.
It's 4 or 5 different coaches. It's 4 or 5 times that we're saying the same thing. Maybe next year with a better coach.
I still come back to my comments all the time. You guys screw up with Seedorf. You had everybody in line over there, and then Montolivo. That's what we, anyways. I love you, Seedorf.
So Tommy said we should have sacked Gattuso after Olympiacos.
I know after the lounge, no?
No.
After the
Olympiacos.
elimination.
Elimination.
I'm gonna
of
get
Olympiacos.
myself another beer.
Okay, go for it. The next game was Bologna, 0-0 draw.
Yeah.
Then a loss to Fiorentina, 1-0 at home. And then a draw to Frosinone. In theory, he's correct.
Yeah.
After those results,
After that,
maybe a sacking or maybe a change would have helped. But
just
after,
to shake things up
just
or
to shake
something.
things
Yeah.
up. But after that, 2-1 against Spal, 2-0 win in the Coppa Italia against Sampdoria, 1-0 loss to Juve, which we all remember that
Yeah.
one, 2-0 win against Genoa away, 0-0 to Napoli, 2-0 to Napoli, 2-0 win against
In the
Napoli in the
Coppa
Coppa Italia, 1-1 against Roma, 3-0 Cagliari, 3-1 against 4th place Atalanta, 3-0 against Empoli, 0-0 at Coppa Italia, 1-0 Sassuolo, 2-1 against Chievo, and then we're at the derby loss. We're not in this position if we don't go in that run. And that's the run that you get sometimes. So you could say sack a coach, not sack a coach. You
It's
never
hard to
know
say,
what you're going
guys.
to get.
It's
It's
hard
very
to say
hard
after
to
the
say.
fact an armchair quarterback, right?
Exactly.
But I think in the end, what everybody needs to understand and respect is that everybody out there is entitled to their own opinions. It's fine to agree, to disagree.
100%.
Just don't trash each other. You know, if
For having a different opinion.
for Tommy to think, it's over, who is he to tell me I'm an idiot for still believing, or who am I to tell me he's an idiot for saying that it's over, right?
Exactly.
We all have our opinions, and we all bleed the same blood, guys. It's all red and black inside of us, so stop bickering at each other. Just be like Tommy if you have to be negative. You just at the end, I have that little bit of hope. From Francis. What happened? Francis, he gets people to...
He had me put it in.
Where does Milan go from here without Champions League football next year and already having spent more than the financial fair play will allow? He's got it over here, huh, with the financial... And first of all, Francis, who says we're not doing Champions League? You? Who says you're doing Champions League?
Automatically taking us out.
Yeah.
I've exchanged
Donnarumma-
multiple text messages with him. He's automatically taking us
Are
out.
Donnarumma and Romagnoli both gone? Okay, we're gonna entertain you for this question. If we needed to like really balance the books, I would see them sacrifice Donnarumma before Romagnoli.
I agree.
Because you have Blizzarri and
Yeah,
by the way,
Giuseppe.
if it wasn't for Giuseppe Reina in that Coppa Italia game, I don't know if we had mentioned it.
Yeah.
Thank God for Giuseppe Reina. Giuseppe Reina could give you a year or two, but now I'll probably say Donnarumma because he's bang for buck, right?
Yeah.
Jan,
Go Leafs, go!
so who do you think we draw in the Europa League group stage next year? If you could only keep 3 of the current starters on the squad, who would they be?
Jan's
current
question.
3?
Jan's question.
Who do we draw in the Europa League right away? See, he's taking
Yeah, that's
him and Tommy. They're like this.
Yeah.
But 3 players I would keep: Piontek, Donnarumma, Romagnoli. If I had to pick 3, then probably Paquetá in there.
Yeah, for me it's Piantek, Paquetá, Romagnoli.
All right.
Those are the 3.
Frank, will you smash the table?
Yes, Frank, I will smash the table.
Ian, seems like most talk is between Conte and Sarri, but do you think, guys? Can I ask you guys something? Conte, I could understand, but Sarri, did he get fired?
I don't know. Sarri's in 4th place.
Sarri's in
EPL.
4th. I think he's a point behind. He says, like, I don't understand.
Mind you,
Anyways,
Chelsea
it's
got rid of Di Matteo after he won the Champions League. So I give it to, what's his name? Frank?
Ian.
Ian. I give it to Ian. It's a valid question with Chelsea.
Who would you choose between Gasperini and Giampaolo if the aforementioned coaches won't come here? I would probably go with Giampaolo because just thinking about Gasperini at Inter for what did he do? 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
2 weeks, 3 weeks. Gasperini is a fantastic coach, but you see in the situation that he thrives. Maybe
No pressure.
No pressure.
No
There
pressure
is
to a certain extent. Yeah.
Imagine he started the season complaining that they didn't give him enough talent to start the season, and they started terribly, but he got them on track. Atalanta has a project. They continuously find gems that really produce and work in the system. Will these players that Milan have work in a Gasparini system? I don't know, but I don't know who I would choose by both of them, to be very honest with you, because I'm not convinced of either or.
Riccardo Connetta. Ciao ragazzi, my question is short and sweet and refers to everything Milan over the past few months. Quite simply, what the fuck? Last few months? Where you been the last 7-8 years?
Yeah.
It's been what the fuck for the last 7-8 years.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think it's sad. I think it's sad that we have to think this way. But just the way I was saying at the beginning with the Kessie penalty, where it was like this. But it's the fact that we're. What else do you want it to go wrong?
Yeah.
Like, you're just accepting those things. So
It's sad that we're accepting it, because you know what? They keep on showing on Twitter, rightfully so, like in that Roma game, that draw 1-1, where I think it was Suso got body slammed, WWE style.
Mm-hmm.
That's for Facebook Frank.
Yeah.
Hiroshima Nakataka from the top rope jumped on him, and that wasn't called a penalty. Didn't go to VAR. And yesterday, Frank Kessie, which was a lazy play, and you know what? If the referee saw it and he called the penalty, I get why he called the penalty. But was that ball even coming to that player?
No.
So like, it's a lazy play. It's like they're just not focused. They're not focused. And I'm having trouble with the mentality, in terms of mentality and focus. I think it's 2 different things. The mentality is a problem, but I think on the pitch, the focus is another problem. It's 2 separate problems, guys. That's one huge problem.
And it seems like the last at least 2 months, it's like we're coming onto the pitch and it's like, let's hope for the best. It's not like we're that
on
attacking,
the pitch, not to lose.
Yeah, exactly. And Dr. Talal, I like this. What is he putting on over here?
Oh, there's no volume. Oh, there is volume.
And this tweet was Borini's cross at the end of the game says it all. Actually,
It wasn't even. I think he was going to shoot.
yeah, he thought he was shooting, but that was all a trick shot. The people, you can't attempt these trick shots at Borini. Andre Milan, Andre, I like your question very much because Steve was talking about all day. Do you believe that with the present squad, even the best coach in the world can get 12 points in the last 4 games of the season? No. I'm not saying that they can't do 12 points right now. I'm just saying changing a coach right now, and the best coach in the world will not just let me do a band-aid solution here. We'll try to put it in this thing. So no, I'm with you on that one there. So, Presidente, what is he saying, Presidente over here? During the whole banter era, your morale ever been this low? For me, the hope of January and February has made this recent run more soul-crushing than the rest.
And that's a fantastic catch on your part, because that's a great comment. The banter era has caused this. Glimmers and months, short periods of good play has made our expectations just take off on us. And I'm guilty of that as well.
It's exactly, Michael. It's exactly
we're
when we
looking
signed
for something.
when we did 250 million and everybody like all
Yeah.
expectations. This year we were all like, okay, let's see what's going to happen this year. All of a sudden, Higuain, we're signing Higuain. What
Yeah.
the hell's going on? And then all of a sudden, you're bringing us into how many times did we see during the podcast? What business do we have being in third place in those times? And at one
Yeah.
point, trying to catch up Napoli or Inter. So it's. I think
It's caught up in the hype.
It does. But the banter is always going to stay. But soul crushing, yes. But I still believe. I'm always gonna
What
believe.
happened with this video? It changed yellow.
I know because it's a night mode now.
Oh.
Yeah, because we're going far. AC Milan Guru, good day, boys. Have you ever processed Ayer Stark being the real MVP? Gattuso's looking more and more like Ned Stark every day.
And who you walk you? And who you walk you?
Season over for Milan.
Fuck you,
Who's the
Nick King.
Stark?
Huh?
Who's Stark?
Game of Thrones.
Oh. I thought it was some sort of independent wrestler or something. Gattuso's looking more and more like Ned Stark every day. Season over for Milan. What is the first order of business if you are Leonardo in the off-season? First order of business, offloading every single person, even if it's for $1, the ones that are dead weight. And if you have to get rid of 75% of the players, that's what you do. It's as simple as that. But before you do that, what are the restrictions for the financial fair play?
Yeah. Get the financial fair play restrictions. Figure out what you're going to do with a coach, because it seems like this one's not going to be continuing with us. Start addressing and selling the dead weight. Selling. Whatever is out of contract, make it leave. You save the salary. But you gotta put a scenario in place where you're purchasing, you're buying for the future and for now. But again, Presidente always says it, and I tip my hat for him. You need to make money off sale.
Yeah.
You need to make money off sale sometimes. That's how you generate some income for future buys.
Last but not least, Alessandro. What do you think Conte was at the match? Why would you think he was in? Why was he shaking his head? He was shaking his head because he was looking at Milan play, probably. Yeah. Or why was he at the game? Guys, who knows? He's not an idiot. It's probably a perspective. You know, he's in Italy. He's catching a game. It's
how bad is this Milan that they want me to take over?
How is my challenge over from over here? But guys, I'm gonna leave you with this. I remember Conte during the national team during the Rios when he took over, and I remember him on the sidelines mouthing in Italian, "I'm going to kill you all," and he's that kind of. If Gattuso, the way we know Gattuso, if he cannot get these players to do what he wants them to do to motivate, will Conte have?
We
Guys,
don't know.
think about that. It's been an hour and almost 10 minutes. Brioshkis of the week. Thank God you're here to remind me, because... So, the indigestion, nobody disparity won at Milan for the pitiful performance, obviously. Presidente, we're with you on that one there.
I agree.
And the Lazio punished for racist chants, one more partial stadium closure, peanuts in comparison. Yeah, I don't get how they we're putting it on hold. We're gonna Mussolini things before the game, and the that's and
don't even want to give it time.
No, feel good moment of the week. Is there any? Presenter says he doesn't have because he has nothing positive to say.
You know what? To be very honest, you guys, feel good moment of the week is not even Milan related. It's to see teams like Torino and Atalanta succeed. It's giving the rest of the teams, the big four, a kind of like a wake-up call, where you cannot rely on what you did in the past where you could throw money at your problems. Inter was great at that. Milan was fantastic at that. We threw money at everything. Juve just always has money. You know, Roma is a good thing. Is a good example as well. Is that they've sold players, maybe not purchased the best players, but they're still in the hunt. They're still in the hunt. And you think of tiny teams, and in comparison to the top 5 teams in Italy, Atalanta and Torino are tiny teams.
And if he said the Signorini, that the only reason Atalanta is in there in Torino is because they set the Signorini, and for you guys that never heard that expression, is the top 7 teams. Just the way when Inter and Milan decided not to be part of Serie A or Champions League soccer for all those years, nobody took advantage, right? So it's great to see, 100%, but for them to go into Champions League, to sell off their best players and get knocked off in the first stages to get that 10-15 million, to me, I don't see the point, because Serie A gets ridiculed from over there. Thank you very much for listening once again.
Bologna on Monday.
And we're going to be right after that, guys.
Bababum.
Ovunque sempre.
Forza Milan.
Ciao.